Goku Black, the body-stealing arbiter of divine justice.
And the Reverse Flash, DC's psychopathic speedster fanboy.
They say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
But I'd say the sincerest form of flattery is not trying to kill your superhero husbando. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Free ad. Fucking advertisements free.
What consumes the thoughts of a god? What do immortals dream of with all the time in the world? In Zamasu's case, his one goal was divine justice.
Yeah, this guy's got major Final Fantasy big bad energy all over him.
As the assistant to Universe 10's Supreme Kai, Zamasu prized, above all else, cosmic order and natural beauty.
Oh, that reminds me. Did you know I can burp and fart at the same time? Here, let me try.
Unsurprisingly, Zamasu despised the inherently chaotic nature of mortals, being seemingly unwilling to lift themselves out of their own cycle of violence and stupidity, like some people I know.
Yeah, I know those people too. His heart was clouded. Until the day he met Son Goku.
With God Ki, Goku could match blows with the god of destruction, Beerus. Their clash nearly destroyed the entirety of Universe 7, a cosmological structure at least 9 times larger than our own universe. At most, it could even be as large.
So that was their scaling for in the Beerus versus Sailor Galaxia fight, which Beerus won, by the way. I agree with that outcome. I don't necessarily agree that Universe 7 is 9 times larger. Like, I can kind of see how you would get that since, like, the Mortal Universe is this tiny cross-section, like, right here. So I can kind of see how you would get that, but, like, if you actually look at, like, the amount of realms there are, I don't necessarily agree that it's 9 times bigger than the physical universe, because, like, you have the demon realm on the bottom, and then you have the physical universe, and then you have hell, and then you have basically the kind of, like, in-between plane that's not actually heaven. It's like Snake Way and the Four Kais and the check-in station, and then above that you have heaven, which is supposedly infinite, and then you have like the realm of the Kais, which I don't think is infinite. I think it's just like a very, very large planet. Focus on the wrong category, just malding category. Well, I'm not malding yet. We'll see.
As 13 times greater than ours. Side note, it's worth mentioning that when 2 gods of destruction fought, they were capable of casually destroying 2.
What did he say?
God Kiss. Their clash nearly destroyed the entirety of Universe 7, a cosmological structure at least 9 times larger than our own universe. At most, it could even be as large as 13 times greater than ours. Side note, it's worth mentioning that when 2 gods of destruction fought, they were capable of casually destroying 2 of these universes.
And since the shockwaves from their punches traveled across Universe 7 in seconds, they'd have to be hitting way faster than light.
Goku was tapping into his Super Saiyan God form for this, though clearly not at its full strength. While the exact multiplier for Super Saiyan Blue is unknown, Toriyama himself has directly compared it to the original Super Saiyan form.
And don't forget, Goku trained with Whis and fought in the tournament with Universe 6 before Zamasu caught up with him, so by that time, he was way stronger.
Here was a mortal with the powers of gods beyond even Zamasu's abilities, someone who could bring his dreams to fruition.
So Sammy did what anyone would do in that situation. Kill his master to become the Supreme Kai, wish on the Super Dragon Balls to switch bodies with Goku, and kill every single mortal in the universe.
And thus the deity Zamasu became Goku Black.
Please, Goku Black? You couldn't be more creative?
No, you might be wondering, why didn't he just wish all the mortals dead? But that wouldn't be as fun, would it? Black's got all of Goku's strength and powers, but wielded by a genocidal maniac instead of that.
There's actually like an in-universe explanation for that, by the way. The reason he didn't wish all the mortals dead is he also considered the gods to be corrupted, and he figured that this would eventually result in him having to fight Grand Zeno, and so he was preparing to fight Grand Zeno. And that's also kind of why he, that's part of why he decides to fight Goku in the exact way that he does, is he's hoping that fighting Goku will push him to new heights so that he can eventually take on the Angels and then Grand Zeno himself.
Lovable goober of a monkey man.
And in keeping with Goku's Saiyan heritage and godly ki, Black can easily achieve the form of Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan.
But with a champagneful twist.
Super Saiyan Rose.
Rose? Really? What is he, a suburban wine mom? Watch out before he unlocks Super Saiyan Live, Laugh, Love! He stole Goku's techniques too, like the instant transmission, where he focuses on a person's key signature to teleport to their location. He's even got the—
A lot of these are like video game names right here. Like a lot of these are like techniques that he has in video games, and don't necessarily appear in the anime or the manga. Yes, that is me during the
Kamehameha, which is a Kamehameha, but pink.
And with a Saiyan body, he gets stronger and stronger every time he almost dies. He just becomes harder and harder to kill.
Which really sucks for the rest of the universe, because Black is kinda like if Goku just snapped one day and used his powers to their full murderous potential.
Like the God Split Cut, where he surrounds his hands with a keyblade to slice you to ribbons. He used this very technique to, kill Goku's family.
He can even extend this Keyblade into a huge curved one called the Azure Dragon Sword, which, along with his Kamehameha, confirms my suspicions that Goku is colorblind.
Actually, Black's Azure Dragon Sword is named after a legendary weapon wielded by one of Earth's greatest warriors, the Desert Bandit Yamcha. Wait, what?
And he can make a scythe and slice open space-time itself to create a bunch of shadow clones. Black, not Crater Boy over here. But his most dastardly weapon isn't a key technique at all. It's the time ring he got from his dead master.
This ring allowed Black to travel through time, and even escape into future Trunks' alternate timeline.
Yeah, what's that text say? While the primary function of a time ring is to travel between future, present, and alternate timeline events, it can also be used to follow other time travelers by space-time disturbances made by the temporal alteration. That's true. Even allowing the user to enter the past for a limited time. Keyblade, is this Dragon Ball or Kingdom Hearts? Key is in like KI, not key is in like a thing for unlocking things. Key is in like chi. Like that, you know, the energy of the spirit.
He had free reign over the entire universe.
And let him team up with his best bud, himself! Too bad Goku and company showed up to spoil the fun. But wait, isn't Zamasu in Goku's body? How are there two Gokus? There's only one Goku in the multiverse, right? But Goku met Black before he met Zamasu, which means Black existed before Zamasu came up with the idea. And then they killed Zamasu before he could do it anyway, but Goku Black was still around? What the hell is going on?
Sure, it's a classic grandfather's paradox. The thing is, Black's time ring prevents him from being affected by alterations to his own personal timeline. So, killing him in the past doesn't change his future, and vice versa. He's almost impossible to kill because even if you do it at one point in time, he still exists at another point in time.
Yep,
and
he's
another,
a-causal.
And another, and another, and another.
Oh god, I hate time travel. Black has crushed Saiyans like Goku, Vegeta, and Trunks. Hell, even Vegito couldn't beat him. He even merged with the universe to become one with everything. Like
whoa! Are they doing like fucking Reverse Flash versus Infinite Zamasu? Because that's a very different fight than just like Goku Black. Like I figured this would be like Goku Black, Super Saiyan Rose versus Reverse Flash. Like if they're doing like Fuse Zamasu and Infinite Zamasu, like that's a very different fight.
That major Final Fantasy villain vibes here.
It took Zeno, the Omni King, the most powerful being in all of creation, to step in and erase that entire timeline just to stop Black's rampage.
It's ads.
Ironic. Zamasu's higher calling was the eradication of all mortal life in the universe, and he stole the strongest mortal's body to do it. But in the end, he was always doomed to fail. His quest for power meant nothing against a being that would always be stronger no matter what he did or who he was.
And the universe ended up being destroyed anyway. It's like one big cosmic joke with no one left to laugh.
So he could have actually potentially beaten Grand Zeno. Like we see in other stuff like Dragon Ball Heroes that Zeno is actually beatable. Like Hearts, his plan was to kill Grand Zeno. And it was kind of, he didn't actually get to do it because like Xeno Goku was there, but it was kind of implied that, you know, he could have. So I do think that it is possible to surpass Grand Zeno. He had a reasonable plan that could have worked.
You've been running around making messes for too long, and now I'm going to choke the life from you. I can't wait to watch you die.
Barry Allen, The Flash.
Ah!
is one of the greatest heroes in history, an inspiration to many across time and space. And there's no better example than his #1 fan from the 25th century, Eobard Thawne.
Alright, Wiz, we've tackled a lot of stupid names for things in our years here at Death Battle, but I'm confident that Eobard is the dumbest f***ing first name I've ever heard in my life. Eobard was completely obsessed with the Flash and dedicated his whole life to studying the Speed Force like a total nerd. Good luck to him, because there's no way he's figuring that shit out.
But Thawne's life irrevocably changed the day he discovered a time capsule from the 21st century. By some strange coincidence, it just so happened to contain Barry's costume. By experimenting on it, Thawne managed to replicate the Flash's powers, turning himself into a mirror of his idol.
And you can bet he totally crapped himself when Barry Senpai showed up in the future and took him under his wing. It was a dream come true.
Until Barry realized that Thawne had fabricated crimes in order to show up and save the day. Disgraced, Thawne promised to better himself before traveling to the past to prove his worth to his hero, to prove that their bond was special.
That's when Thawne found out that Barry already had a best friend, and a family, and a life. Without him, he didn't matter. He wasn't special. He was just a nobody Barry tossed out in the trash and forgot about. Like my Tinder dates do to me.
If only. When Thawne visited the Flash Museum in Barry's time, he discovered the secret identity to Flash's greatest enemy that in his future had been lost to time. The one Barry was fated to kill in battle. Eobard Thawne. Wait a minute.
Oh, ain't that a bitch? The shock drove Thawne mad. If he couldn't be Flash's best friend, he'd be his greatest enemy. And I guess also ensure his own future death.
He would
What's this? Once had plastic surgery look like Barry. Yeah, this is all correct. Like this is
travel from the future to terrorize the Flash family in the past.
Nothing to criticize there.
Revenge in reverse. He'd become the Reverse Flash.
Reverse Flash? We're really setting the world on fire with these names today, huh, Wiz?
Thawne draws his powers from the negative Speed Force, which he generates with every step he takes, just like Barry does with the regular Speed Force. The negative Speed Force gives Thawne access to many of the Flash's powers, including his mind-bending.
Okay, so what are they doing here? Superhuman speed, strength, healing, cyclone creation, hypnotic voice, invisibility, intangibility, lightning, shockwave projection, temporal and dimensional travel, time absorption. Okay, this is all true.
Super speed, enough to travel all across time and space in days. He can keep up with and surpass other speedsters like Barry and Wally.
Who once ran fast enough to cross the universe faster than two gods who could.
No, this isn't true. This isn't true. This isn't true. This is bullshit. I know because I read this comic. This is bullshit. He is not that fast. This didn't happen. So what actually happened here is, the Flash, and I should finish their explanation before I say it's bullshit, but I already know it's bullshit. We're just gonna back up a little bit. We're gonna listen to their whole explanation, and then I'm gonna call it bullshit. Oh yeah, the malding's about to begin. I fucking knew they were gonna bring up the stupid fucking race with the fucking whatever the fuck they're called, the gamblers.
Like Barry and Wally.
Who once ran fast enough to cross the universe faster than two gods who could teleport. Wally even beat himself in a race, and Barry admitted Thawne was still.
Okay, so fucking. That wasn't. Wait, I need to listen to that again, because they're really wrong about this.
To cross the universe faster than two gods.
Travel all across time and space in days. He can keep up with and surpass other speedsters like Barry and Wally.
Who once ran fast enough to cross the universe.
Okay, so they're like conflating Barry and Wally, even though Wally's way faster than Barry, which is kind of weird. I want to hear what they say next.
Faster than two gods who could teleport. Wally even beat himself in a race, and Barry admitted Thawne was still faster than that.
Okay, so he does say faster than Wally, but see, here's the thing though. When Wally beat the gamblers to Earth, we don't know how long it took them to teleport. It is true that he got from wherever the fuck they were at, the cosmic racetrack, back to Earth, before they could like teleport there. But we don't know how long it took for them to teleport. People try to scale that off this one statement where they just can't read because they don't speak English or something. But it literally, it never gives like a distance or like a time factor, so there's not actually any way to even calc that feat. But regardless, though, Wally had 3 different fucking speed amps for that. First off, he was on the Cosmic Racetrack, which just makes you faster. Being on the Cosmic Racetrack that the gamblers created just makes you faster, period. Secondly, while on the Cosmic Racetrack, if other people on your home planet, if they generate motion, you can basically take that motion and add it to your speed. Wally, if you notice in like the scan there that they had, he's wearing this little like fucking communicator. See, he's got this little communicator right here. This is like this cosmic communicator that has him linked up with like fucking national TV on Earth, and also the Justice League. And like right before, like basically while he's fucking bargaining with the gamblers right here, he basically tells everybody on Earth, like, okay, I'm gonna need you guys to like all put on your best running shoes. I'm gonna need every single person on the planet to run as fast as they possibly can, like, you know, right at the exact time that I say. And so they get the whole Justice League, including like 5 different Flashes and several different versions of Superman, to like all just like basically line up on the fucking planet and just fucking go right at the same time, all to add their speed to the Cosmic Racetrack, to add their speed to Barry, or not to Barry, to Wally. And even then, the like person that Wally was racing against, this other speedster called Crackle, that was just as fast as him, that was also receiving energy from his home planet. Crackle gave Wally all of his speed, to the point where it killed himself. Like, Crackle fucking killed himself to make Wally faster. And with that, yes, Wally does beat the gamblers to Earth. Once again, though, this is not like his base speed. This is him with, like, the energy of a fuck ton of other people, including multiple Supermen and Green Lanterns and Flashes and entire, like, you know, extra planets, you know, populations of just, like, raw speed, all funneled through this fucking speed amplifying device. And, you know, then he beats the gamblers to Earth. That is, like, super fucking retarded to try and scale Reverse Flash to that. Like, no. Bullshit. Bullshit and a half. Regardless, though, even if you want to say, like, yeah, the Reverse Flash is that fast because of the statement where he says he's faster than Wally, even if you do want to say that's true, we don't actually know how fast Wally was even moving there, because, you know, it never gives anything, any numbers there, like, in any way scalable.
Universe faster than 2 gods who could teleport. Wally even beat himself in a race, and Barry admitted Thawne was still faster than that. Wait just a second, he beat himself? That doesn't even make sense.
But unlike Barry and Wally, Thawne applies his powers more catastrophically, using them to their full potential without any care for collateral. Take, for instance, his ability to vibrate himself through solid objects.
Objects like, say, vital organs. And if he did, he'd scramble their molecules, causing instant death. Thawne did just that to Barry's wife, Iris, and Barry did not appreciate it.
Thawne's vibrations are so powerful, he can even produce a counterforce that can reverse the destruction of the entire universe.
Pretty crazy sounding, but even B-tier speedsters like Jenny Ognats can do the same kind of thing. And when Barry and Wally raced each other, they were tearing up the entire multiverse.
Thawne can create shockwaves with a snap, phase into your body and possess you, and even speak at such high speeds that you'll hear his words as though they were your own thoughts. And instead of stealing your speed like other Flashes, he can steal your time.
Yeah, Thawne can yoink decades from your life and age you 80 years in just a few seconds. Kinda sounds like your sex life, huh, Wiz?
No, that would work against
But
Goku
Thawne's
Black,
greatest ability is his unmatched skill at time travel, and he uses this expertise to be as petty and cruel as humanly possible.
Thawne wasn't a dummy. He knew that if he went back in time to kill Barry before he got his powers, he'd erase himself from the time stream too. So instead, he'd just make Barry's life suck as hard as he could, push him down some stairs, retcon his best friend from history, kill his mom. He even told Barry he'd go back in time and adopt him as his own son. Dude, what the fuck?
That's another big difference between Thawne and Barry. Whereas Barry only went back in time to save his mother's life, Thawne often went back in time to try to fix his own mediocre life. He killed his more successful younger brother, his career rival at the Flash Museum, and every single boyfriend his crush had until there was no one left but him.
And when she still rejected him, he went back in time again and made her an invalid for the rest of her life. Jesus Christ! This guy's a monster! But wait, Wiz, that's impossible! Grandpappy Paradox or whatever. If he went back in time to kill someone, they'd be dead in the future, which means he'd never know them and want to go back in time in the first place, right? Wiz, maybe time is a construct with no legitimate unit of measurement other than the meager attempts man has made to understand the incomprehensible world around him.
Well, actually, Thawne was just inside the time stream when Barry initiated Flashpoint, which rewrote the universe while Thawne was technically disconnected from it. So, Thawne essentially broke. Literally, figuratively, mentally, physically, temporally.
Or maybe he just hated Barry so much it defied the laws of time itself.
Add!
Whoa! More specifically, he became a living paradox, a being without a past or future, literally without continuity. Not only did this mean he'd be unaffected by changes to his past, it made him effectively immortal.
Stabbed in the chest by evil Batman, vaporized by Iris in some sweet, sweet payback, or getting Dr. Manhattaned by the big blue god dong himself, Thawne was always reborn, unable to stay dead.
But more than anything,
I'm pretty sure Dr. Manhattan undid that. I'd have to check to be certain, but I don't think the Reverse Flash just, like, survived Dr. Manhattan yeeting him out of existence. I'm pretty sure that was one of the, like, tons of times in Doomsday Clock where Dr. Manhattan deleted the multiverse and then was like, oh, right. Or rather, he's trying to delete Superman by deleting Superman. He deleted the multiverse, and he's like, God damn it, I can't uncouple these things. I can't do both. It's like if I want there to be a multiverse, then I have to let Superman live. Fuck. So I don't really think that means too much. Okay, so let's took on an entire Flash family simultaneously, moving fast enough that Barry could not see him. First destruction of the universe, tanked an infinite mass punch, survived weeks with a bullet hole in his head. Yep, that's true. Don't be killed by Dr. Manhattan.
it made him immune from consequences.
Unlike Barry, whose changes to time could destroy all of reality, Thawne could do whatever he wanted. He was impossible to stop, with no reason to hold back.
He's survived a hit from Barry while he had the entire Speed Force absorbed into him, and even Wally's infinite mass punch, which has the mass of a white dwarf star. A white dwarf is essentially the remains of a star's ultra-dense core, which has a mass of over 2 octillion tons.
And he took one of those to the noggin and just took a nap. Wow. Man, he must really hate Barry if a sun to the face can't take him down.
But he doesn't hate Barry. All of his schemes, all of his machinations, all of his insane timeline-shattering threats, all of it was because it was the only way he could think of to spend time with his hero.
That's really sad.
His costume says it all. He never intended to be the Reverse Flash. He wanted to be the Kid Flash. All Thawne ever really desired was to be by Barry's side.
In the end, though, goody little Two Shoes Barry forgave him, and then vibrated away his living paradox powers, erasing him from existence.
Though not entirely. Barry didn't kill Thawne, he reset his timeline, removing the one thing driving his hatred, his relationship with Barry. Without that, Thawne was a normal, happy Flash fan once again.
It's Comics Wiz, he'll be back. And when he does, there'll be no running. He'll always be faster, he'll always catch you, and time is always on his side.
Still think you can take me? Even death can't catch me.
All right, the combatants are set. We've run the data through all possibilities.
Okay, time for
let me tell you how to reverse things in the bedroom in a flash with Blue Chew.
This episode is sponsored by Blue Chew.
If I've learned anything from years of hosting a show while having very few actual... It's time for a death battle!
You guys didn't see that. I didn't skip their sponsorship. I wouldn't do that.
It was me, Barry. I was the one.
Now we're gonna see their terrible animation. Goku Black versus Reverse Flash. What the fuck is this bullshit?
Mortals, sinners, prepare for divine justice!
You know what? This still has more frames than Record of Ragnarok. shouldn't have broken the teacup. That was a bad idea.
Excuse me, sir. I'm in need of your services.
Animation is still better than much of Horizon Zero Dawn. That's true.
Stand still and face your judgment, mortal!
Okay.
What do you think of this color? Is it not beautiful?
Incoming genius! I'll end this fight before it even began. Death in reverse!
Magnificent! Mortals, sinners, prepare for defy! Why aren't you dead?
Oh shit!
I feel like that's a previous episode of Death Battle.
To stand atop all things and look down upon creation itself. That is the work of a god!
Empty threats to a living paradox!
How truly foolish.
Sorry, was that important?
Okay, so they're gonna give him the win on account of stealing the time ring.
How fun.
Okay, so they did give Reverse Flash the win. I fucking knew they were gonna.
Son, we really should have a timeshare.
This
I wanna
was
hear
a
the
fairly
reasoning.
tricky matchup to figure out, least of all for their incredible levels of power.
Black could destroy a universe like ours at least 660 times over. I mean, a punch at least as big as a star is really badass, but that's in another league.
However, there was a lot more to cover than just how many stars or universes they could blow up. At their peak, both Goku Black and Reverse Flash were so impressive they were removed from time itself, becoming living paradoxes, making any attempt to kill either of them meaningless.
Stupid time travel.
It's difficult
That's
to
not really
determine
true.
who would figure out a counter to this temporal invincibility first, but it would most likely rely on a combination of speed and smarts.
As far as speed goes, it's no surprise Thawne definitely had the edge. Yeah, Black's attacks could reach speeds quintillions of times faster than light, but Thawne is a Flash.
Even early in his career as a member of the Flash family, Wally West could reach speeds that were impossible to comprehend and calculate. There are
No, not correct. Well, once again, we went over this earlier. I want to see exactly what that said, though. What did that say? What was that text on
Wally
screen?
West could reach speeds that were impossible.
A fraction of a second, so infinitesimal, nowhere exists to describe it. Leading the recognized space-time continuum approaching trans-time velocity. Yeah, so once again, that was with him having 3 amps from the whatchamacallit, the cosmic racetrack of the gamblers in the what the fuck was the comic called? Like Death Race something, I fucking forget. It's not important. Even Sataru would clap Goku Black, more like Reverse Flash. But yeah, he had 3 amps. You know, I won't go over the whole thing again, but you know, he had the speed of, you know, the speedster that he was racing against. He was on the cosmic racetrack, which makes you faster, and he had the speed of 2 worlds, including the entire Justice League, 5 extra Flashes, like multiple Supermen, multiple Green Lanterns, you know, all that good stuff there. Like he's like Reverse Flash is not faster than this. He does not scale to this particular version of Wally.
Possible to comprehend and
custom
calculate.
True.
There are numerous examples of this for multiple iterations of the Flash, many of whom Thawne was clearly equal to.
Plus, he's kind of an expert when it comes to timey-wimey bullshit.
And he could likely overpower Black and destroy said time ring too. After all, Thawne once generated enough energy to counter the destruction of the entire DC universe, which
In the immortality of Fuse Zamasu, who have difficulty surviving battle with First Flash, as Thawne is capable of destroying the entire timelines, somewhat similar to how Zeno destroyed him in canon. That's true, but also not. It's not really true, because the way Zeno destroyed him, like, it's not like he destroyed the timeline, because like that was needed to beat, you know, Infinite Zamasu. Like, what he did was he deleted the timeline entirely, including Infinite Zamasu. Like, in the same way that he, like, deleted Jiren after the Tournament of Power. He deleted Infinite Zamasu, but he also deleted the rest of the timeline. And the reason he did that is because the timeline was fucked enough that he just wanted to start over. He was like, yeah, this is all fucked up. I'll flip the table. It's not like he needed to delete the timeline in order to delete Infinite Zamasu. Like, he could have just deleted Infinite Zamasu. You know, it's not like they're kind of conflating those two things. So they think he's only faster than, like, what would I say, like quintillions of times the speed of light. Like, they think that's how fast Goku Black is. I'm wondering if they're gonna give like an exact speed calc.
is stated in comics to be at least 100 trillion light years in diameter. That's over 1 billion times larger than our own universe, and over 70 million times larger than Dragon Ball.
Okay, so what do you fucking say there?
After all, Thawne once generated enough energy to counter the destruction of the entire DC universe, which is stated in comics to be at least 100 trillion light years in diameter. That's over 1 billion times larger than our own universe, and over—
Oh my god. They're so fucking stupid. Holy fuck. They're scaling off the observable universe. Holy fuck. Just so you guys know, the real life universe is infinite. It's expanding faster than you can move, and like even if it's not infinite, like the most widely accepted scientific theory is that the universe is actually infinite. But even if you want to say that it's not, even if you want to go with like a lesser known theory of how large the multiverse or how large the universe is, like the theory of cosmic inflation, then the real-life universe is 150 sextillion times larger than the observable universe. Like the DC universe being like 100 trillion light years in diameter makes it ridiculously fucking tiny. Like, unbelievably, astronomically tiny. You know, it's like, it's not even 1% as large as the real-life universe. You know, because either the real-life universe is infinite, or it's 150 sextillion times the size of the observable universe. And there's never been an exact size given for the Dragon Ball universe, so you could assume it's really small or really big, or you could just assume it's, you know, the same size as the real-life universe. And if you do that, then, you know, then it's either infinite, or it's 1.5 nonillion superclusters. You know, it's one of those two. And so, like, the fact that they gave an exact size for the DC universe and that it's ridiculously tiny, it's amazing to me that they just, like, got this wrong.
over 70 million times larger than Dragon Ball's Universe 7.
It's sort of impossible to lock down the exact limits of Goku Black's upper strength without getting into lots of assumptions and guesswork. He's obviously stronger than Goku was when he clashed with Beerus, but even being super generous with training and power boosts and multipliers, the gap—
DC Universe saw state to expand at 60 trillion light years per half second, has multiple spatial dimensions, while Goku Black's like 1,000 times more powerful than Goku was during the Battle of Gods. Archetypes would argue that even Fused Zamasu could reach such levels. So I have a great scan that I'm going to show in a minute here, because I knew they wouldn't show this, They either don't know about it because nobody knows about this scan for some fucking reason, or you know, they just like omit it intentionally.
Here is way too wide to be able to just assume Goku Black could match this level of power. The DC universe is just too big. And remember, Barry and Wally's race almost ripped apart the entire DC multiverse.
It's also important to stress that Goku Black is not Goku. Goku's drive and willpower can push through even the most absurd limits to potentially match higher levels of power. Zamasu took Goku's body because he's more than willing to take shortcuts. It's an entirely different mindset.
Yeah, and once he took care of that time ring, Reverse Flash had a lot more up.
Did they watch Dragon Ball Super? Goku Black scales better than Goku. Like, when Goku Black first shows up, he's so weak that Goku can just fucking shit on him in base form, and Goku Black can't even go Super Saiyan. And then he fights Goku for like 2 minutes, and then is stronger than Goku. And Goku's like, okay, I have to go like Super Saiyan Blue now to beat him. And then he fights Goku for like 2 more minutes and unlocks Super Saiyan Rose. And then is like so powerful that that even with Kaioken and with Vegeta helping him, they just like can't do shit against Goku Black. Like his scaling is out of fucking control. Like he is way more powerful in that sense than Goku. Like it's not even close.
Than just overpowering Black. With that super speed, he could pretty easily scramble Black's insides or age him to death with a touch. Zamasu may have been a deity even without the time ring, but Goku's body is mortal with a limited range of age. Might have really screwed yourself with that one, huh, Zamzam?
Goku Black was a nightmarish foe, but Thon's experience with time travel, ridiculous levels of hacks, and frankly impossible speed gave him the means to take the win.
This fight was definitely not sunderwhelming.
The winner is the Reverse Flash.
Okay, so I have a little scan here that I want to show. Something they didn't go over about how fast Dragon Ball characters are. Like, nobody ever goes over this. Nobody even knows this scan exists for some reason. This is from Dragon Ball Super, Chapter 3 of the manga. Like, this is right at the start of the fucking story. I don't know why nobody knows that this exists, but, you know, it's a thing. So this is the Supreme Kai and Kibito Kai, because they hadn't defused yet, looking at their crystal ball, and they're looking at their little, like, yeah, you know, they're like, looking through their crystal ball, looking at this little disturbance here, and they notice, oh shit, that's Champa and Vados. It's the God of Destruction from Universe 6, along with his angel attendant. And so they're looking through their crystal ball here, and you know, Champa and Vados are talking, and they notice that they're being spied on. They just, like, fucking sense it. So these guys are in the land of the Kais right now, which, if you remember the like, little cosmology picture that Death Battle showed earlier, the land of the Kais is above heaven. So this is, you know, by their scaling, like, 13 universes away. And, you know, in the time that it takes for, like, the fucking Supreme Kai to, like, even register what the fuck happened. They're like, that's Lord Champa. They saw us. Why is he after the Dragon Balls? Champa hits the ground in the land of the Kais. He flies across, like, 13 universes in the time it takes them to say, you know, this text right here. That's how fucking fast Champa is. And this is Champa. Like, he's one of the weaker gods of destruction. And he doesn't power up for this at all. He's in base form. You know, he's not fucking... Larkus's reaction, White Amogus. Something like that. But, like, this is him in base form, not even powered up in base form, let alone Destroyer mode. Goku Black is stronger than, you know, than Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. Arguably stronger than even, like, Goku with the Kaioken. And, you know, both of them are much stronger than Golden Frieza. And why is Golden Frieza matter? Why am I bringing up Golden Frieza? Because Golden Frieza had this little fight against this dude called Top, or Topo, depending on your translation. His official English name is Top. He's a god of destruction, and in order to beat Golden Frieza, he has to go Destroyer mode. And granted, he was a relatively new god of destruction. He turned into a god of destruction during his fight with Frieza. But even so, he's probably still stronger than Champa. Champa's like fucking fodder. Like this is, by that's according to Vados. That's according to his angel attendant. Like fucking Goku asks, like, oh, okay, who's stronger between Champa and Beerus? Because they're like twins from different universes. And Vados is like, do you even have to ask? Just look at them. And it's like, oh, I see. Champa's fat and out of shape. He's like complete fodder. Like, Toph would absolutely fucking body Champa. And this is base Champa without powering up, and it took Destroyer Mode Top in order to beat Golden Frieza, someone who's way weaker than Goku Black. Champa isn't fodder. Champa is fodder. And it's like, so Goku Black is, astronomically faster than this. Especially like fucking powered up. He would be, hundreds and hundreds of times faster than this feat that Champa does right here. Like, we're talking, the ability to move across, hundreds and hundreds of universes in, a second. And those universes are much larger than the DC universe, which, I didn't even know that they gave an official number for the DC universe and that it's really goddamn tiny. Like, what the fuck? Like, that is a tiny fucking universe. I did not know that it's only like 100 trillion light years across. That is ridiculously small universe. So, like, I don't see, like, if we're gonna scale off of that, and they're only like actual speed scaling off Reverse Flash was him, like, apparently being faster than Barry when he was, or not Barry, faster than Wally when he raced the Gamblers, which, I already explained why you can't actually scale off that. Death Battle, they either didn't do their homework on this at all, like they didn't read the fucking actual comic, and then they didn't read Dragon Ball Super, or they omitted these facts intentionally. I'm not sure which one it is. I'm not sure if they wanted to give DC a win because they've lost like their last 4 matchups against Marvel, or if or if they just like don't know what the fuck they're talking about. He's just big boned. Yeah, Champa's just big boned. Let's not diss our boy Champa too much. Okay, I'm gonna change my stream title now, and we're gonna start Yakuza 0. Give me just a minute, guys.